Everyone, I hope you're well. Happy Solstice. Welcome to my channel. This is where we talk about twin flame process, and this reading is for the solstice, which is today in the UK. It's the 21st of December, and I was guided to put a reading out the other day, but I didn't get round to it. So I'm going to see if it's going to be all right to do it today. When I was being guided 2 days ago, I had this overwhelming feeling of an ending happening, and I'd forgotten it was the solstice coming up. So I wasn't really putting two and two together and understanding why I was getting this overwhelming feeling of a really sudden end, like a drop in the energy, until I got a little notification on my phone to say the solstice is about to start, and I was like, oh, so because it is the end of, it's the end of the year, and it's the end of autumn. It's the death of everything. Once we go into the winter, it's the end of everything. So that's probably why. And then it all starts again. So let's get a few cards out and see what else they have to say. Of course, if you wanted to get a personal reading, you can do that by booking through my website, and the link is in the description box below. Okay. So for the solstice, what is it that you want us to know? So they're showing me a tree with apples on it, and they're saying something is ripening. So, and then they're talking about the apple about to drop off the tree. So overripe, they're showing me. Right, it's basically time for something to, it's overtime for something to change, basically. Like, let's have a look, hang on. Apples dropping off trees. What else have we got? I've got a car swerving in the road, leaving tyre tracks behind it. Something that was not on course that is about to be rectified, they're saying. Course correction. A course correction. They've got a visual of the masculine looking on a side view, and the face, like the side of the face, it's a bit like the Six of Pentacles card, which is somebody reaching out. They've got this visual of the masculine, composed, still, not erratic, rational, they're saying. So not veering around and not knowing, in the, like what they're showing with the car is like it was going all over the place and not on track. With this, they're also saying this could be down to issues that have been addressed, they're saying, which could be anything that could have taken this person, the masculine, off track. So anything like alcoholism, drug dependency, any addiction problems, they're saying. They also just said gambling, anything that would haywire, they're saying. So anything that would not allow them to move forward in a straight line, in an orderly manner towards where it is they're supposed to be going in life. Something that's been it's like they've gone a certain little amount of the way forward and then dragged off course again by something that is debilitating the ability to move forward. Overdue, so they're saying it's overdue, so it's like they've been unable to rectify a situation, they're saying, unable to bring themselves into alignment with an eye on the future, they're saying. Let's have a look. Moving out of a bad situation we've got as well. So for some of them, it's getting themselves out of a situation where they've kept hiding and not making the changes that are necessary to move on from a situation. So it could be also relationship. Maybe some of them stuck in a relationship where they've not made the effort to get out. It hasn't been. They haven't felt they're able to. They haven't had the. They're talking about like an impetus, like they haven't had enough of an urge to again, they're saying rectify a situation. Some of them not having enough of an urge to like say, okay, this has got to be over and I've got to get on with getting out of this now. So just kind of going back to something again and again, like the car swerving is going back to it again and again. And they're saying futility, a sense of futility around whatever it is they keep going back to, banging their head against a wall, they're saying. Unable to fit into the situation, they're saying. Untenable. So getting to the point where it's unbearable to be in a situation anymore, where something has to change. Where they got this apple on the tree. Well, actually, there's a lot of apples. It's almost like rotting the fruit, they're saying. So, an apple gets to the point where it's ripe and it needs to be picked, right? It's like where action has to take place. Time is right. When the apple is ripe, right? To pick the apple before it's rotten fruit that drops from the tree. So it's just going to go, if they don't do it now, it would get overripe, basically. So it's something that's got to be done now. There's a window closing. They just said there's a window closing over Christmas. It's very definite closing. Time up, they just said. Time out. It's like they just showed me an image of like Jason Statham rolling across the floor as a gate comes down and like rolling under the gate just as the minute it's going to close, like hit the floor. Like that kind of, last call for this closure to take place, for them to get out of something that they've either been doing or in or part of, that has meant that they're not able to like move towards what would be best for them and where they really want to be and what they really want to be doing. So it's very much about an ending for the masculine. In terms of the feminine and the ending, they're saying that there's like nothing else that can be done from your end. So you can't keep going through the same. They're saying the mistake. So it's the masculine's mistakes that are being made. The feminine can't keep going through the masculine's mistakes over and over again. So as well, this ending that we've got is comparable to the feminine being allowed to shift position in terms of the feminine's own life and to be disregarding the masculine at this point unless they make a change. So it's an end of sorts for both people. Actually, they said persons. But so in the physical, you're separate and you've both got a chance to, well, it's either a course correct for the masculine, they come back once they get out of whatever it is they've got to get out of, or stop doing whatever it is it's not good for them to do. And but there's a no more energy signal coming from the feminine to the masculine. There's like an embrace of life for the feminine coming, which the winter's masculine, they're saying as well. So the winter is like the death of everything. They're saying it is a very masculine energy because it's not life-giving. You know, spring is feminine, they're saying, and winter is masculine. Summer is feminine. Autumn is masculine. So that's what they're saying. Because it's the endings that are the masculine and the beginnings are the flowering, the giving birth, that's the feminine, that happens all the way through. Although I think in the early autumn you also get growth, but you know, I think the seeds are dead, right? You don't get seeding, you just get the end of the growth. Anyway, it's the seeding that's feminine. Or they lie dormant, don't they, till the spring, I guess. I don't know. Lots goes on under the earth that I don't know anything about. Right. So the end of everything is what we've got. The end of the masculine. Coming to, they just said coming into, what was the word they just used? It's gone now. Coming into acceptance of something that has to be done. Let's get some cards out. Excuse me. 9 of Cups. Happiness and wishes come true. Dreams come true in the 9 of Cups. 9 of Swords. This is an ending for the feminine inside the feminine's head, which is of everything that they've felt disgruntled about. Anything that has not appeared to be right, or how they would like it, or what they would want from life, basically. So I guess it's an ending for a feminine in terms of in the feminine's head. It's like, okay, there's no more. I can't do it anymore. There is no more. I can't go through this anymore. There's a great upheaval coming, they're saying, for the feminine. I feel like, well, this is wishes and dreams coming true, right? In the 9 there. Pushing into the 9 of Swords for the feminine. Last chance. So, like the man going under the gate as it's just about to come down, the masculine comes through as the gate's just about to come down, the last chance, because the feminine can't go through it again. Not anymore, they're saying. But as you feel like that's the last chance, right, the last, like this is the end of it for you, feminine, your wishes and dreams are coming true. Right, so it's almost like as you just get right to the end of the matter inside yourself, like this cannot go on anymore. And it's like a let go, final let go. The masculine comes through because your wishes and dreams come true. Let's have a look here. Resistance, 7 of Wands. The resistance is always where the masculine doesn't manifest into the physical reality because of the ego that causes the resistance against the vibrational truth. So masculine is the ego. It's the ego that says you can't do something because it wouldn't make sense. Because the ego likes everything to make sense from a physical perspective of a physical reality that's not really real. It bears no relation, egoic energy, mental energy, to the etheric energy of higher self. So it doesn't see or believe anything that it can't touch or feel. So when the ego says no, which is very masculine, like, no, I can't do that. It's too hard for me to do it. I'll have no help and assistance. It's only me and I can't do it. Let me carry on in the relationship. Let me carry on taking the drugs. Let me carry on drinking, carry on gambling, because I can't stop, because it's only me and I can't stop myself, right? What the ego doesn't understand is that it's not just self, it's everything that is not self that's vibrational. So that's not just your twin, it's your higher guidance that includes yourself and your twin as your eternal selves, and everything else that is part of what is eternity. So examples: Pleiadian consciousness, higher consciousness. Oh, you could say whatever it is you want to say. Some people believe in angels. You could say it's your angels. Some people believe in dead people that talk to you. You could say it's your dead friends and relatives. It could be all of them and both, right? It's it's different ways of describing things that you can't see but do exist, and just making it more understandable. And that's a very individual thing. So everybody has a different way that they can. It's like saying some people are visual people and some people are audible, you know? So people just have different ways of describing the things that make it understandable to them. So, but anything that's energetic, basically, that isn't physically operational. So, if you say you're on your own and you can't help yourself and there's no one around you, then there might not be anyone around you physically, but it doesn't mean there isn't anyone around you vibrationally. And what those things are that are around you vibrationally is really neither here nor there. It's just that they are, and it's the support that's there. So actually, it's not up to the ego when something stops. It's up to higher self when something stops, when you stop doing something. They just pull away all the desire for it. Slowly, bit by bit, they start to pull it away until you feel like you don't need it anymore. And it's a hands-off experience. Right, so in this case, there's lots of other cases in the world where, people will do things like Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever. Yes, there's a lot of people and it's support, but it's the same thing anyway. It's just there are people there that you can see that enables you to believe that it can work. It could still work without the people. Just some people really need the people there to believe that it can work and they can stop doing it. In this case, because it's twin flame, there isn't anything really needed for the belief. It's just going to happen anyway, because in the feminine's mind, when it's over, when they're saying, that's it, I'm moving on, I'm going somewhere else, I'm living a different life, I'm not doing this anymore. And not in a way that they're fighting and screaming and shouting and hating what they've got, just in a way that's like, I'm ready for something new. I'm happy and I'm looking for a new experience. Dreams and wishes coming true. It's like the final countdown to like what is closing, the window closing that they've got over Christmas, for it to come through, right? So what goes on in the feminine is the ending of the resistance, the closing of the window. Because there's no resistance, there's no fighting it. Where are they? Why aren't they coming back? How can I go on? Because they're not here. I can't move on. I feel stuck because they haven't come back, and I knew they were coming back, but they haven't come back. So I can't move on still. No, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter if they come back or they don't come back. I'm going to move on. And I feel fine about it, and I feel really good, and I know my wishes and my dreams are coming true. And when it's that energy in the feminine, which is the end of the ego, because it's reliance on higher self to bring through the dream that comes true, by fully believing it will, because things are going to change for you, is the same as the support in the masculine that says your time is over with that. It's time to move on and move through. And that's the end of the resistance that brings them into the physical dimension. Oh, they're already physical, but brings them into your physical dimension. So brings the twins together in a physical way. Guided. Ace of Swords, communication, brand new communication, big communication. Coming in. Ego, heart of the matter, ego, right? So communication can't happen without ego. You can't speak unless you employ your brain. However, guided communication is higher self just pushing through your brain, like claircognizance or clairaudience, or pure inspiration. It's the light, right? So, in essence, the death for the masculine, in terms of the ego, is the awakening of enlightenment in the masculine, but by employing the brain. So the brain gets used, but is not overshadowed by the egoic agenda, basically, which is all naysaying, right? The ego is always like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, people shouldn't be doing that. The ego is like, it's just the devil on the shoulder that sits and judges everything and says that everything's wrong. It's like, likes to start fights. The ego likes to start fights. It glories in its opinions of anything and everything, and always, likes to put the cat amongst the pigeons. Disputes, they're saying, likes to cause disputes. Let's go here. Ending. Ten of Swords, so ending in the mind, an ending of the ego, basically. So it's the ending in terms of the masculine's ego, basically. Right. Next one. Love. This is baby love. So it's like brand new love. It's like something small and fragile and delicate, they're saying. Something that is worth care and attention, they're saying. You know how like you hold a baby so carefully, a newborn baby. So it's that kind of thing that's coming along. It's not something that is going to be bashed around by an ego. So, where they've got this ego in the middle, and the death of the masculine, right? Ending of resistance, ending in the ego. So it's basically some love that's coming along through the death of the resistance and the ego, where it's just going to be brand new, open-ended. So a very open-ended introduction to something new. So as well, ego always likes to get up in front of everything. So before anything's happened, right, in a lot of situations in human communication, before anything's said, the mind always runs ahead and starts to configure an opinion around what might be said. Right? And in that, when it does, all sorts of things can come up, and because it's ego, it will come up with all the stories of what negative things can be said that it will need to retaliate against with more ego. So you have projections in your head of conversations where you're saying, excuse me, excuse me, how dare you say that to me? That kind of stuff, right? That's where the ego likes to go on its own and starts to have a battle about things that are not even come about yet, basically. Because the ego is masculine. I mean, it comes up in the feminine as well. We've got masculine and feminine. But because this project is arising, this twin flame process, one of the many things that is involved in twin flame process is death of the ego. We know that, right? Because it's about unconditional love. And unconditional love is love devoid of ego. Because it's when you love someone without them having to be who you want them to be so that you can love them. A lot of people have a lot of aggression to the people they insist that they're in a love relationship with, because they will only allow themselves to feel or express love for that person when that person is matching up to who they expect that person to be. And normally it's because people want everyone to be like themselves so that they can feel that they're okay. It's like, well, if you're not like me, then there's something wrong with you. If you don't want the same things as me or have the same opinions as me, then you've got to be wrong. That's a lot of humanity, right? It's when we're all flailing around in ego. That's what hell is, right? Unconditional love is saying, okay, you might have a different opinion to me. You might want something different from me. That's fine. You can have that. It's not going to affect me one way or another. I love you for whatever it is that you are, and or however it, or whatever, you know. Be on your merry way. Have a lovely time, and I will not feel any sense of disgruntlement because you are not performing as a human being in the way that would make me feel like it's all right to be me, right? It's like a cut-off. There's a cut-off with unconditional love. It's loving, it's high and light and free. So it's devoid of ego and all that stuff, right? And in that, that's where we got open-ended, because if you love like that, it can go on forever because nothing will stop the love. When you've got ego chirping in with like, why did you say that or do that? I don't like it when you do that. I think I've got to stop loving you now. That's when love gets cut off. So in this case, and we're only talking about twin flames because we're not going to get into like, well, what if someone's abusive? And because that's individual situations. You can still basically, if you want an answer, you still cut the person off, right? You get away from them, you cut it off, and then you carry on. You don't stay there and let it happen. It's the same thing. And say, are they ever going to stop it? Are they ever going to stop it? If it carries on, you get away from it. It's still a cut off, and hopefully they sort themselves out at some point down the line. Get some help or whatever for whatever it is that causes them to be like that. That's only for them to like come to terms with. So, but that's a vast subject. We won't get into it here. We start talking about paedophile priests in a minute, and that's not what we're here for. It's not what we're here for today. Right. Where are we? I'll go back to where I was now. Wind it all back in. Two of Swords, ego, functioning from ego, right in the middle. Underneath, what have we got? Oh, look, the Emperor returns. There he is, functioning from ego, but with they show me the side view of the masculine's face. They're composed. They're not saying anything. They're not ready to shoot back some kind of glib jibe, right? Which is maybe what they did in the past. Some kind of offhand, off the cuff, ill thought out, undesirable remark. And maybe this feminine who has it within her or him to get right up ahead of the conversation has had to go through some kind of misdemeanor of the masculine that is resembling that kind of a thing, some kind of dispute, basically, some flag. There's like, you get flagged when things are said to you, and you're like they're, well, I don't like the way they speak to me. I don't like the thing they said. So you flag it for next time, and then you're always in your head, ready for the next time that it gets said or something similar, so you can reproach that is said. How very dare you? Like in that Catherine Tate with the two men in the shop. How very dare you? Right. Let's go here. reunion, twin flame reunion, Six of Cups. So the ending in the feminine. So maybe you're also going to be free in your head because of the solstice, because it's the end of something energetically. So maybe the triggers that cause the resistance have died off, because it's the winter now, right? As soon as we're in that energy of winter, there's a die-off. So a dying off of the triggers inside the masculine's head that leads to new birth, new love, less said, right? It's like understated. It's a very, you might have noticed in other things that have come to you, maybe you've got Christmas cards from people that are very understated. Maybe someone who used to love bomb you has just died, it's all died off and they're just acting normal again. Something like that. That kind of thing, right? Things becoming more downplayed and understated rather than all like dramatic and fancy and irrelevant because it's meaningless although it's fancy. This is something very real that's coming in. That's very, it's time to play, they said. We've got Six of Cups here, ending for the feminine side ahead. Time to play. Your outcome, feminine, just check this is working, hang on, is freedom. So what you're going to be allowed to do in this connection when it comes back into the physical is be yourself and be how you were when you were a child and be loved unconditionally. So being free to completely be yourself with abandon. And that means, saying the things you want to say about things, looking the way you want to look, having your own, your own idiosyncratic ways of behaving that go against the grain, or, where someone might say, oh, that's weird, or you're not normal. It's like you'll be allowed to do all of those things like a child and completely be in a state of let go in terms of being in a relationship with the masculine when they come back. Because it's cradled here with a lot of unconditional love. Like someone's not jumping on your every move or every word and telling you that you should be different, trying to control you. No control. So, got that as well. One here, and then we got love comes from love in the Eight of Cups. So it's like dreams and wishes coming true in the Nine of Cups. Through the ego, they just said timing. Love comes from love. Both people free, they're saying. So whatever it is that you've had to go through, both of you, that's made you feel like you have obligations, even if that's something like a particular life trajectory that you felt is, well, this is just my lot, right? And this is the only thing I'm kind of here for, despite this other twin flame thing over here, but that doesn't seem to be anything right now. So now I'm doing this thing here, and it seems to be all there is. It's like an end of that, right? Because we've got a rewind going on to here, ending, Ten of Swords, birth of brand new communication coming in, right? An ending of communication here, so it's like a start of something and an end of something around the ego. So that's like how you are in a physical reality. So there's something changing there. An ending for the feminine in terms of the ego. So the feeling like you're only here for a certain thing. And it's maybe not what you ideally would desire. But it feels like work, right? That feels like work. But that's reunion here. And this is childlike energy of being able to play again. So it's coming into the physical reality. The masculine here underneath comes back. The resistance, which is over here. Again, we've got the ending. ego, the rebirth of love, and the hopes and the dreams and the wishes coming true, and the desires, and the fun, and love comes from love. So the feminine is being pushed to take part in life again in a fun-loving way. Maybe you're feeling excited. Maybe your guides are pushing you to feel excited about something new that you're going to get into or do or have a plan about, that's going to end the resistance in the masculine and bring them back. Because when you feel like that inside of you, that is the cue. That's the cue. When the feminine feels ready to, feels completely let go of what they've left behind, love comes back. But it's about desiring something new, not the thing that's left. Because you can't desire the thing that's left without feeling sad about it. You can only desire something new to feel happy. So you'd be feeling desire around a new project or plan. Maybe the possibility of a person, but not necessarily so. Let's get one more out in the middle. Two of Swords, not necessarily a person, maybe just a project or a plan. Higher self, guiding through ego. So higher self in human form, basically, which is what twin flame connection is. It's love in human form, unconditional love. Underneath on the Emperor, change and triggers. Triggered, higher self triggering the masculine. Nine of Cups, new journey, the Fool, a brand new journey. Love comes from love. Eight of Cups, energy moving through. So there's the energy coming through that, feeling like you want something new to begin. You've got a plan for something new to begin. That's going to be really good. And it's change on the masculine, right? Which means it's changing their trajectory. So it's where they've been off the rails, they'll get back on the rails. They're back on moving in a straight line, coming back. Seven of Wands, the moon. We've got a moon coming at the end of next week. It's actually coming on bang on New Year's Eve. So that's a really, really exciting moon, I would say. New moon. It's a new moon. It's a masculine moon. A very exciting moon. I don't know what sign it's in. I think it's in Capricorn, where it's a very masculine sign. Duty, responsibility, obligation, matching up, aspiration, practical, responsible, responsive, down to earth, go-getty, you know, all those things. Driven, quite driven, Capricorn. Single-minded, very single-minded. They have their eye on the prize. They got that. You see it on their faces sometimes with Capricorn. It's almost like you see them like licking their lips with like, I'm going to have that thing over there. That's mine. And you can tell that that's their plan, even though they make plans. They're very good at making a plan and sticking to it and getting what they want. Very ambitious. Okay. So that's the moon that we're coming towards. Form showing up, Page of Pentacles on the Page of Cups. So that is new love, new form, all at the beginning stages in the pages, which are number one. Very down to earth, small scale number one in the pages. So it's very down to earth. It's very real. It's very matter of fact. It's Capricorn. It's a very matter of fact in Capricorn. Brand new start, new moon. It's a very, what they're showing me is the masculine keeping stum. So keeping everything in check. You know, it's like when you want to say something but you don't say it, it's on the tip of your tongue, but you're just holding back because you don't want to say the wrong thing. That's what they're showing me with the masculine. So less said, soonest mended, they're saying. Astute, they're saying. So worldly wise, they just said. Participant, So it's just, just very overwhelmingly Capricorn, because Capricorns are very proactive and they're very good at managing things, you know, and good at reading people and situations and knowing when to act and when to stay quiet and that kind of stuff. They're very astute like that. So it's coming through like that, right, for the masculine at the moon as we move through this week, through starting at winter. Nine of Swords, we've got Eight of Pentacles, so that's physical connection coming in on the ending for the feminine. So it's the ending of something for the feminine as well. You might have a sense of like, well, that's it, I'm done. You might even have been guided through doing lots of different things and have them all done. And it just been like, right, okay, well, that's it. All the jobs are done. Everything's taken care of. This project of my life, of how it's been for the last few years or whatever, all that's taken care of. And I don't need to do that anymore. So something new is coming. What it is that's new, you can feel it. You feel it here, right? It's new. It's going to be good. You can feel it, but you don't have it yet because that's standing before, right? So it's coming in, but you feel the ending of it. It's bringing something in the physical. You don't know what it is yet. The ending of the resistance, the masculine, the resistance. All resistance is masculine. And the moon, which is Capricorn, duty bound, they said. And then you move down here, right, to higher self pushing through the ego. So it's feminine coming through masculine, which is just the energy of feminine coming through masculine, which is here. The energy of feminine is love. Love comes from love. So that's moving through both participants of the twin flame process. And then the love shows up in form, brand new. And Six of Cups, guided. Page of Wands, which is guided, reunion. And when it's brand new, it's like you're brand new. Just this energy of like childlike. It's like going back to where you started to feel, you know how there's a cut off when you're a child? Well, for twin flames, there's generally a cut off because something happens. Maybe the death of somebody, or just some kind of soul shock, basically. Or you start to be abused by somebody, or there's normally you're taken away from the light and submerged in the dark to clear the dark. So this is like where you return to the light. So you return to the feeling that you had before that thing happened, where everything is like new. You know, like when you're young and everything is like exciting and new, and just like the wonder of the natural world and butterflies and birds and all that kind of stuff, and being so like in awe of everything. It's returned to that feeling. The childlike feeling is that. It's like not feeling grounded almost, because you're not grounded. You're not grounded when you're a young child. You're not fully rooted. You're still very much away with the fairies. It's that kind of thing that's coming back. It's like you're going to be swept off your feet. You're going to be swept off your feet. And feel like you've just been like lifted up into the clouds. Ace of Swords, let go. So let go is coming for the masculine. A guided let go. So we said it before, when they speak out, they just do it because they're strongly misguided. Don't know why they're doing it, they just do it. They're making contact, that is. They just do it because it's time to do it. And the time, when it's time, it's out of their hands. It means it's just because it's time. And we don't really know how it's time. We'll know later on when we're not here anymore, and it all gets explained back to us. And we all go, oh yeah, oh yeah, I get it now. Ten of Swords, last card, transformation, death. Oh, the death, the winter, the end of everything. Ending, winter. There you go. So that's it. So, and then I just go in here on this moon because they're talking about that as well. Is that the end of it as well? Because the Seven of Wands is an end. And these are new. Brand new beginning. Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Alright, so I'm going to leave you with that. Lots of love, and I'll be back at the moon. And I've just taken a little time off over the holidays. So personal readings, I will be doing them after the new year. Lots of love, take care, bye.